Hi, friends. We're continuing in Jonah, and I'm sure you've all heard this saying, you can run, but you can't hide. Here it is, Jonah in chapter 1, trying to run. His ticket to Tarshish places him aboard a ship. That's his means of escape. But stepping into this vessel puts him on an unexpected journey. The ship is soon violently rocking in the storm. Jonah is asleep in the lowest part of the vessel. Above, the sailors are frightened as the ship is tossed by the waves and is at risk of being broken up. In their desperation, they cry out to their gods to receive them from the raging storm. In that moment, their future is so uncertain that they begin throwing the cargo overboard. Consider that for a moment. This cargo is their livelihood. To save their lives, they're casting aside what is valuable to them. And meanwhile, Jonah's asleep, seemingly unconcerned for the others. It's the captain who goes down and wakes him. The captain comes to him, and we read these words in the first chapter, verse 6. What do you mean, you sleeper? Arise, call out to your God. Perhaps the God will give a thought to us, that we may not perish. Have you ever found yourself in such a place of deep despair that you could no longer recognize the presence of God? Sometimes despair does not look like panic or tears. Sometimes it looks a lot like Jonah, a prophet withdrawn, a prophet exhausted, asleep in the lowest places, and running from the assignment of God. The storm is raging, but God is near. And yet into despair, our despair at times can cloud out of sight the fact that God is there, and we fail to recognize He's with us. Here's the striking irony. Jonah is a prophet of God. He is wakened by a pagan sailor who tells him to pray. Jonah, who should have been calling others to God, must first be called back to Him. Despair and fear can do that to us. It can pull us down so far that we forget what we know to be true. We become so overwhelmed by the things of our lives, sometimes by grief or failure or fear, that we no longer sense the presence of God. But God has never left us. But the storm was not proof that God had abandoned Jonah. It was proof that God was still pursuing Jonah. It was proof that God still cared deeply for him. Sometimes that's the hardest truth to hear. Sometimes we are too weary to lift our eyes towards heaven. God is still near. And sometimes He sends even unexpected people and unexpected voices to remind us to call on Him, because He cares deeply for us, even when we turn our backs on His voice.